Greetings. Welcome to the Captive Desk and the Grassman Chronicles, if you're tuning in over there. And welcome, Azho. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. And it's been a pain in the butt getting this thing to you, but it finally got there.
I see KA. Hello. Yeah, so
I don't do anything stupid.
we're a couple Bigfoots having a chat here. That's what I punched into AI, so that's the thumbnail in the background there.
I think you're the bigger Bigfoot. That's not fair.
I don't know. I think you got me.
I need more gray hair.
Yeah, that's depressing. I got mostly mine's on my chin and in my eyebrows. Yeah, I don't have very many in my head, but yeah, it really shows. Of course, it doesn't show on camera too much, so when I'm on here, you don't really see it. It looks mostly dark, so I'll take it.
I need to shave over here. Yeah, welcome to face grooming 101 atheism style.
Hello, Maya. Hello, Jur. Good to see you. Yeah, we're always on the lookout for Bigfoot, and I have a lot of fun talking about Bigfoot, and a lot of folks join in on the fun, and I appreciate it. And Azho's one of them that's joined in on the fun with the All Hail Bigfoots, and
All Hail Bigfoot. But I go one step further. He's the one true God.
I appreciate it, and yeah, anybody that knows, well, especially if you're on the Grassman Chronicles, we like Bigfoot. We like the Grassman. We like cryptids. And Azho brought up before, he wasn't sure if I believed in these things. I'm a skeptic, but I try to be as open-minded as possible. And when I talk about things, we like to keep it lighthearted. I like to most of the time I try to keep things lighthearted. There's a few of my videos that little bit more serious, but you got to kind of laugh a little bit, or some of these things will really get to you, right?
Exactly. I mean, entertainment and stress relief, if anything.
And when Trees and I are talking about Bigfoot and everything, now, at one point, Trees did believe he saw a Bigfoot, and I don't hold it against him, He's come to change his mind.
At least it wasn't Jesus. Then I'd think he's crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't on toast. It was actually in the woods. Trees goes out in the woods a lot, so.
Oh, I do too, especially with the pit. But now we got a new puppy I got for Christmas, so I'm kind of not so excited about bringing him out there because I'm not sure, what he'll do out there because he's still kind of skittish as a puppy. But yeah, this is one thing that I was going to ask KA earlier about when the Bigfoot hunt is, because he invited me to go, and it's like I'm actually kind of excited. Similar to like snipe hunting, even though there are snipes. That's a big thing in Indiana. Take people snipe hunting with a black flashlight.
He's close to the hot spot, and hello, Serenas and Mark. Good to see you. Yes, and so is Trees. He's down in that area as well. So that, as far as Bigfoots go, and in Ohio, we call him the Grassman. That's why we have the Grassman Chronicles. In Ohio, we're like number 4 for Bigfoot sightings. And they up in my area too, over at Cleveland. They show up in all parts of Ohio, but the southeast part is a big hot spot. And you've probably seen them in southeast Ohio. If you watch any of the Bigfoot shows or anything, they've all been there. So
yeah, we don't have many in Indiana. I'm surprised as close as we are to Indiana, even Kentucky and stuff like that, but I've never heard of any in Indiana.
They're in all 50 states, so you can look up, there's an interactive map for Bigfoot sightings in all 50 states. So
I have to check that out.
Even Hawaii.
Bigfoot can swim. Duh.
There's a Hawaii Bigfoot sighting I don't know how many incidents, but I know at least one where it was spotted in Hawaii. So
does that mean there was 2 big feet on, or Bigfoot, whatever the plural of big feet is, foot on the ark?
Bigfoots. Well, obviously there had to be more than just
because
one.
the reason I say that, I guess if the penguins and the kangaroos can get to, like Australia or, wherever penguins hang out, then, it's no big deal for Bigfoot to get to Hawaii.
Well, Bigfoot can travel interdimensionally, so travel's no problem for a Bigfoot.
Well, I learned something today about Bigfoot. So he is the one true God.
Or if you're more into ETs, Bigfoots get beamed up, so they can just beam up and around. And if you're a hollow earther, then the Bigfoots are running around through the tunnels, and so that's why they appear and disappear, because they hop in their little tunnels, and they've got a tunnel system. Hello, Purple. Good to see you.
Hi, Purple.
So it all depends on which school you go with on what. There's people that think Bigfoots are perfectly natural, and then there's probably a lot more in the camp that Bigfoots are supernatural. So, and when supernatural can be anything you want.
Right.
The one I learned recently is orange orbs. Now, anybody that's into ghost hunters or anything know about orbs. They're usually some kind of particle that the light is bouncing off of, and you get this orb that shows up in your photographs. Well, with the UFO hunters, it's always a ghost. Well, and they come in different colors, apparently. And I can understand, if it's reflecting a different color light, obviously it comes in different colors.
Right.
But the orange ones, apparently, Bigfoot is using for travel. So if you see an orange orb, you got to let me know.
I'm going to go out and put up more trail cams then. Point them in the sky.
And it couldn't work out better because I like orange. A lot of my stuff has orange theme. I got an orange background. I like orange.
And remember, a lot of times I
don't have an orange shirt on today, but I've got a lot of orange shirts. So orange is good with me for a Bigfoot interdimensional. It's like remember Mork and Mindy where he traveled in like the egg,
Yeah, Nanu.
You get in this little orange orb and you transport around.
Orson, was that who we always talk to? Orson
Mort Carl Orson. Yeah.
God, we are dating ourselves now.
Mm-hmm. You want to bosom buddies with Tom Hanks.
Yep. And I can't remember the other guy's name, but I got his picture, and I know. I mean, in my mind, I know what he looks like. He's been on other things, but I just can't tell you what his name was for $1 million.
The blonde guy, slips my mind too. That's one of those trivia questions they get you on. Everybody can remember Tom Hanks, but
on the Bob Newhart show, where they're up in Vermont or somewhere, and he owned that bed and breakfast. He married the daughter or the sassy rich girl.
The Newhart show up in
there we go.
Yeah, up in the New England there. Hi, Maya. Yeah, I know we're old. We were just talking about the grays don't show up so much when we're on camera, so I'm happy with that.
Mine does. Now you got me looking. I'll be right back. I'm using one of those 5-minute, which everybody thinks I dye my hair anyway because I have very few.
You can go blue. A lot of people are going blue. Aaron Rod had his blue, and AJ had some blue put up in kind of a little swipe in across their head.
When I was raised in Florida for the first part of my life, but we always called old people or blue hairs. So I'm not doing blue. I can do something else. I'd even do pink. I wouldn't, doesn't bother me if someone makes fun of me or questions my masculinity. I'm too old to care.
We had a teacher that we had blue-haired nickname for because, you dye your hair black and it becomes blue almost after a while.
Yeah.
And then the blonde, the blonde, both of my buddies I ran around with had blonde hair, and we hung out at the pool a lot. So every summer they would start to get a green look to their hair from being in the pool too much.
Oh yeah, or in the sun when
See
it
this?
turns kind of orange.
These are the natural dyes.
Yeah. You don't get cancer from them usually unless you stay in the sun too long, I guess.
Yeah, some years, no matter what you did, there would be a little bit of green to the pool, and yeah, all the blonde would have a little bit of green, and I would even get a little highlights in my hair just from being with all the chlorine and the sun and everything.
Well, if you ever watched the movie Grown Ups, where I don't know if it was one or two, where they're all in the pool and they're peeing in it, and one of them says, "Oh, the water's going to turn blue," or whatever it is. Oh, that's just a myth, and all of a sudden, there's blue all around, all 4 or 5 of them. I think 4 of them, the main characters. Yeah, that'd be embarrassing. All the kids are not doing it, but the adults are peeing in the pool.
Why? There's a meme that says, "Why is there never a long line for the restroom at the water park?"
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could do water parks anymore, not knowing what I know now.
You know, my wife was not amused with the water park experience. If you don't know, there's a lot of water rushing between your legs.
Right. Well, we went down to, was it Branson, Missouri, with like Dollywood or wherever the heck that's at. We went down a couple slides many years ago, and she lost her top, which doesn't bother me one bit. So what? Guys are gawking at you, just means they're looking at something that I'm with with her type of thing. But yeah, she just never went back down it again. Try to talk with kids going backwards, but then I'd say you'd probably lose your draws.
Hey, what's up, Logan? Good to see you. Yeah, that well, the amusement park thing too. The older I got, with the little tweak to the back, and it just is like, ow, and bouncing around in some of those rides and stuff, it kind of lost the thrill. But when I was younger, I used to love going on all the rides.
Oh, when I was younger, I used to love going on the rides until, my sperm donor, I don't consider him to be my father. My stepdad was my father. But we were living in, what is it over there? Not Rhode Island, Long Island. So he took us to Coney Island. And I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and my dad was an ass. But anyway, the guy's like, no, he's probably too small to get on the roller coaster. And my dad's like, he's going on the roller coaster one way or the other. And of course, this is like the 60s. So it really, safety wasn't, a big thing. But sure enough, we were in the very front car. And I was all excited, got to the top of the hill. And literally, when we hit that first big hill on, I forgot what their roller coaster is called now. But I literally thought I was falling out of that thing. And, I was so small, I was banging back and forth. And to this day, I hate roller coasters, but I'll go on them just because to me, having a fear is a weakness. And I like to try to overcome my weaknesses, like marriage.
Isn't that the cyclone? Isn't the cyclone?
I can't remember. Google that. Tell me what it's called.
We've got Cedar Point here in Ohio, so
yeah, I've been there.
I've been there a lot of times. So
yeah, so I've been to Cedar Point, been to Six Flags over Kentucky. Here comes the puppy, so I may have to mute. Behave, dog. And there's another one somewhere, the one that near Chicago, whatever it's called. I go on so many, or went to so many of them just on vacations and stuff. I can't remember the names of them all.
And if you go down south, it's a little farther, but there's Kings Island too. So.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I've been there. I've been there. That was probably the first one I went to, the big one.
I got my picture with a Ferengi when I was there, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's another one. The roller coaster they got at Kings Island where you stand up, and it's got that 200-foot drop. I ain't getting on it. I can't remember the name of that one. I hate getting old.
I rode most of them, but I didn't ride the Beast.
That's what the Beast.
There was, I think there was something going on, and there was a long line or something. So, but we hit all the other ones. Yeah, and the backwards one and everything.
Yeah, that Screaming Demon I can do. But it's funny because people would have hats on and literally they'd lose it at the top and pretty much be able to catch it on the bottom of the Screaming Demon loop. But I'd always have to turn around when we'd go backwards because I don't like not seeing where we're going.
Speaking of, one of my buddies lost his hat and went back. We couldn't find where it was, and he was so bummed. It was like one of his favorite hats, you know. And it was moping about his hat all day. And it's like,
wow,
take your hat off, put it between your legs, you know.
Yeah. And now I'd be worried about taking a cell phone or something. Back then we didn't have cell phones, but well, I guess the last time I've been is probably late '90s, and I had a cell phone like mid '90s, at least '97, because it's the phone number I've got now. I actually paid for it just for a simple, easy to remember phone number. But I've had it since '97, so I know I had a cell phone at least a couple of years before that. So I had to change the first one I had because crazy ex stalking girlfriend, or maybe it was me that was psycho. I can't remember. I was trying to call myself. That's what it was.
You had to block yourself. That's
yeah,
serious.
that's what it was. I do that all the time anyway. You know, I see me in a grocery store. I argue with myself all the time, and people look at me, and I always tell them, "Yes, I'm crazy."
Talking to yourself is all right. Talking to yourself is all right.
Make it really get spazzy.
Yeah, it's when you get the answer and you're like,
yeah. That's what everybody says. I had one old lady a few years ago. I said, "Yes, ma'am. I do talk to myself." She goes, "Dear, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you start answering yourself, then you're crazy." And then she turned around and I mean, it was just like one of those bless your heart moments. And then she turned around and said, "Ain't that right, Margaret?" And she goes, "Oh, by the way, my name's Margaret." You know, being a smart ass saying she answers herself. So I got a kick out of that. I'm surprised I remembered her. And I got everybody in chat talking about roller coasters and fun parks and
yep.
Let's go back to the beard.
Oh, my dad used to love the one that spun around and pinned you against the wall, then the floor would drop out. And they quit having those at the parks and stuff. And it's like my dad loved that thing. I could still picture him on the other side with that big smile on his face, you know, all plastered against the wall.
Yeah, they had one a smaller fun park around us. It was called Old Indiana. This has been a lot of years ago, but they had that. It was an old wooden one, and we'd all, you know, literally try to, you know, Spider-Man it. You know, we're upside down, and my buddy was doing it, and about that time it started slowing down. He's like, "Oh, I can do this. I'll just do a handstand." Ended up getting like 16 stitches in his forehead because he fell. It's like, yeah, I'm glad you're the idiot, not me. Everybody else just wanted to get sick.
Kentucky said he was stuck upside down on a roller coaster for like a half hour.
Well, that explains a lot about him then. I thought it was the Kentucky part of him. We'll blame it on the roller coaster.
Well, you see it every once in a while. People having to get rescued. They're stuck on something.
What was it? Well, like last year, the year before, they had a couple of instances pretty close together where people were dying. You know, the car came off the it's like, I can't imagine that. Reminds me of what was it, Final Destiny 2, I think, where they're all on the roller coasters. He's like, get off. Which that was to the 10th, where they're flying through the air, but that's Hollywood for you.
We had at Cedar Point up here, I think it was, where the woman got hit with a bolt right in her head that came loose somehow and fell out or whatever.
And I'm surprised stuff like that doesn't happen more often. I mean, we're farmers, and like on our tractors, you think, especially at the beginning of the year, you tighten everything down, you once it over, you grease and oil everything, and everything, within a week seems like you have at least one or two bolts you're missing, you have to replace them. But on a roller coaster with that kind of vibration, I'm surprised it doesn't happen a lot more, unless they just didn't care.
I think Cedar Point does a pretty good job. They walk everything, they inspect everything. They have a pretty good safety record, so I'm not in any way knocking them or anything. Compared to a lot of other parks, especially, they've got, as far as I know, a great record.
Right.
So as far as I know,
that's when you go to a lot.
They test run stuff. They walk the tracks and everything, and before the park opens, and so.
That's it. That's what I went to. Great America in Illinois. Thank you, Purple. I've been trying to think of what that was, and she popped it up. That's why I keep Purple around. She's humor and stats at the same time.
jumped off the track and killed 4 people. Yeah,
Yep.
that's sad, you know, and that's just the ultimate buzzkill, you know. I mean, you know, you're at the amusement park and something happens, you know. That's just you're trying to escape. You're trying to escape everything and have a good time, and you know, maybe at a place that, you know, has people dressed up and animated and all that, and then a tragedy happens. That's just twice as wrong, you know.
Oh, you get your ball? Go ahead, go. Yeah, my bed's right behind me, and all his toys are up there. So now he has to get the ball, bring it out to the pit, and piss him off. So don't be surprised if you hear dogs fighting here in a second.
Usually I take care of that before I get on, but my son took care of it for me. He fed them and let them out, so
that's what I was doing
in now.
Him and well, both of the hims. We got 2 male dogs. Yeah, he's going to get fixed here in a couple of weeks, so he better enjoy his noodles while he still has them.
We've got an older dog, and then we've got the new puppy. He's about 9 months old now, and we got him from a shelter, so he was fixed and all the shots and a chip, and they do everything. So
we looked at one at the shelter, but they wanted $800 for a lab with no papers, which I'm not paying that much for any dog. I mean, sorry, I'm not going to do it. Plus, then have to turn around and keep the maintenance. But my sister-in-law found this one, and he's 7 months and 2 days old. I think he's got all that, but he just hasn't been fixed yet. And it's a rescue dog that was in a foster home, basically. But they were going to try to keep him, but they had 4, and I can't imagine, you know, any dog being with 4 Chihuahuas. That's just nuts. But you can tell that, I mean, he wasn't necessarily maybe mistreated, but he's really jittery, really jumpy. He's skinnier than heck. He's starting to gain weight, thank goodness. But I think they kept him in a cage because he's, you know, once he's out, he just gets so excited. And, you know, and I refuse to keep a dog in a cage. As a matter of fact, he sleeps with me. That's, you know, how I broke all my other dogs that we've ever had. Because usually if they sleep with you, they're not going to poop or pee where they pretty much sleep and live. But it's, the first week it was like, let's race to the door to let him out real quick.
We got a cage for him when he was a puppy because I didn't have a big box. I'm old school. We always used a big box for a puppy, you know?
Yeah.
And you put newspapers in it. Well, you know what? It's hard to come up with big boxes or newspapers anymore. I had to buy a box of the puppy pads, you know?
That's what I did.
Yeah, because it's like,
and those aren't cheap.
Yeah, you don't have all those bags of newspapers anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But so we got
just the paper.
we got the cage, you know, for to sleep in at night, and but he did pretty good overall. He was pretty good as a puppy, and he's done pretty good so far. He did knock down my palm tree the other week.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all of a sudden I got both the dogs at my feet, you know, and it's like, what's going on, guys? You know, and go out to the living room, and my tree's knocked over. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't have to worry about is because the pit is literally scared to death of my cat. And was the run of the litter. She's like 12 pounds maybe now. And I've had her 12 or 13 years. And I've started to get him to just come to the door. He won't pop his head all the way in because he sees the puppy in here. But I can't get them both in here, so I don't have to worry about both of them trying to get on my lap or on, you know, he's a bigger dog than the puppy is. So far I'm lucky, but I have a feeling that here in the next week or two, Chewy's going to be in here with Jack, and I'm not going to like it.
We've got a cat too. The cat's older than even the older dog. So, she's been around for a while, and, she wasn't too amused with the puppy, but neither was our other dog for a while because, you know, puppies can be obnoxious, you know?
Yeah.
But now that he's calming down a little bit, they've gotten nose to nose, and, every once in a while she has to give him a little hiss if he's getting obnoxious, but
right.
They can sit pretty close together, and it's pretty amazing because I'm one of the ones that grew up thinking dogs and cats don't live together, you know.
Yeah.
But they
That's why I
can.
sleep.
Yeah.
The cat's so used to sleeping with me before I could. Like I said, she's 12 or 13 years old, and she's always been in bed with me. I mean, she's a female cat, and literally, she's, you know, she was so bad when I was dating. She'd get between me and my ex-girlfriend because she was so jealous of her. But now it's like now I literally rarely get sleep or good night's sleep because I have one eye open because the cat will sleep on my right side under my armpit. The puppy wants to be on the left side. And it's like if the cat gets pissed off, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna get caught with the claw. So it's like I'm kind of worried, but now I don't worry about it. They get along great. They just don't.
I've heard a lot of animals. Yeah, they prefer one sex over another for some reasons.
Right.
And I guess birds are really one of the ones that can latch on to one or the other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we had 2 cockatiels, and which I hate. I mean, not that I hated them because I mean, they would half-ass talk, and when they would sing, but sometimes when you didn't want them to make noise, they were making noise. But then you'd go over there and put the blanket over the cage, and they'd shut up no matter what time of day.
I always thought it'd be neat to have a really big room where you could just have a few little birds fluttering around. What is it? Aviarium or something like that they call it.
I'll call it a birdium.
A birdium. Yeah, with birdium. A little little trees and plants and this time of year all I get to do is go out there and peek in because I cover mine with a greenhouse, so I got zippered doors on each end, and that's about all I can do is peek in from either end. So.
Right. Well, I mean, more for me, it would be like when it's nice out, take down that tent of yours and then have like a fenced in area for the birds to fly around. But then when the weather gets cold or real windy or something, you'd be kind of screwed to have to try to, keep catching them and stuff.
We've got lots of birds around here. Plus my wife has a bunch of bird feeders. So there's never a shortage of birds.
Oh yeah. We've got hummingbirds coming out the butt here.
We've both got hummingbird feeders in front and back, and we got no shortage of birds. And then there's a couple troublemaker birds I've had issues with. Us pond people don't like herons.
Right.
Well, even one of those shows up and you're like, At
our other house, we had Dad got before he passed. I mean, years ago, he made got her a pond, but you'd have like crows or ravens, and they'd all sit on the outside of the pond, and everybody's like, "Well, wonder what they're doing." I said, "They're trying to get a meal." Sure enough, you'd see one poke in there, which we never put frogs in there, but frogs are everywhere. So you'd see this bird with a frog in its mouth take off, and then all of a sudden you see another raven or crow, depending on which one it was, trying to get it, and then you see pieces fly. Hope nobody's eating food, by the way.
usually I have a migration problem. It's in the spring. They come flying over because we're near water, pretty close, and
right.
So they're flying over, and I've got trees and everything, but yet somehow they spot my little spot. So a couple times over the years I've had them in my backyard, and usually the dogs let me know because they're going crazy.
Right.
And this year, just this past summer, I went out because I'm out there with the pond all the time, and so I head out there and I'm looking, and something's not looking right. Wait a minute, something's knocked over. I start looking, I'm like, oh man. So I have extra security camera, so I put it on the pond so I can check on the pond, especially like this time of year where it's cold out and everything.
Oh yeah.
So I checked the security camera, and sure enough, there's this big bird with its eye right in the camera, walking by. And I'm like, oh man, I got a bird in my pond. So I'm counting my fish and everything. And I'm like, I think I see most of my fish, So immediately I holler at my son, come on, we got to throw the bird netting up. So bird netting though is a cheap and effective way to protect your pond. And right. Some of the ones with the really expensive koi and everything, they've got fancy netting systems like
right. Oh, they'll even keep out
the pool, the pool covers. Yeah, the pool covers that retract and everything over the built-in pools. They've got systems like that with netting to protect their fish because you start spending thousands and thousands on your fish, you know, it's bad enough when they eat your goldfish, but when they start eating investments,
Oh yeah,
that's not a good day.
yeah. And if you've got raccoons anywhere, they'll eat anything and get in ponds. And people don't believe me when I tell them, because we had neighbors that had chickens in a coop. The raccoons would get in the coop, and they wouldn't kill the chickens, at least right away. But what they do, not to be gross or whatever, but I'm going to be, they actually ate the butts to get to the eggs, you know, with the chicken alive still. And it's like, man, I wanted chickens, but not after that. I wouldn't want to put chickens through that. At least keep them in a cage. Now we could probably do it out in the country, but not where we lived before.
Other than the bird a couple times, the little snakes that run around, and the problem is, well, a couple of them have ate some fish, but I get a lot of the gardener snakes that run around here are small. So what they do is they bite the fish, but they can't actually swallow it or anything. So then I come out and I've got a fish floating around that's got two bite marks in its side. And it's like, you know, so it didn't even eat it, you know, it just killed it, you know, and that's, yeah. And it's like, so that's always a bummer, but, mostly I don't have too much of a problem. And then, but my dogs it's fenced off. They've got like their half of the yard, right? But they come right up against the fence and they're barking and having a fit. Most things aren't going to, hang around. So.
Yeah. Now the pit's at the door wanting to come in and he's whining. Come on. Dave
I'm going to
see you.
Back to, Azho is always in on the fun. And he said, I got some, I'm going to send you something. And I'm like, all right, you want to know what it is? I'm like, no, I want a surprise, right?
Yeah, the only one that knows is Joe. I sent him a picture because I had to tell somebody.
Yeah, I like surprises, right? So he goes, well, all right, I'll send it to you. And I'm like, all right, thanks a lot, So we were expecting it like, a week ago, Thursday, almost 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
But the Indiana,
over 2 weeks since I mailed it.
Yeah, the Indiana post office put it on a shelf or something. Yeah. And then it went to Detroit, and I was like, oh, no, because I've had problems with the Detroit post office, stuff rolling in and out of there all day, day after day. But amazingly, it went from Detroit to Pontiac onto a truck and to Toledo, all within a matter of hours. Within a matter of hours. But it sat in Indianapolis for 2 weeks. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It should have been almost an overnight deal.
I could have drove it there quicker.
If they would have put it on that truck, when they finally did put it on that truck, it was pretty much an overnight deal. So yeah, it had to have been, I don't know, sitting on that magic shelf in the corner, Right. You couldn't say it was the weather because it hadn't been that bad, really. So I got, so I got 2 packages in the mail today. I also got a shirt. The shirt's green, so sorry, but some of YouTube made some fan art, and I had it printed on a shirt. You just have to picture that it's green. Sorry. But again, thanks to YouTube Punk for the fan art. And I will wear the shirt. Just not when I have I'm going to have to put my regular screen up. Otherwise, that's the only thing with a green screen. It makes everything all freaky. And then I also got, it was a great day in the mail.
That was professionally wrapped too.
Yeah, it was a great day in the mail. I got that, and they put that in a nice cardboard sleeve and everything, and inside a package, so it came all nice and folded and everything, so it didn't get damaged. A lot of the time they just throw it in those plastic bags, Right. This was actually in a sleeve, and so way to go on the packaging printer. I don't remember the name, but it was one of the printers on Amazon. But hey, way to go! I mean, put it extra packaging is always appreciated. So. So yeah, and so then I also got this package from this where's it at?
Asshole.
This one here. From this Azho. So here it is. We got the package from like we were joking. We're only state apart, so
well, now everybody knows your address now.
oh yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, I got this.
I don't care about mine.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyway, I'll block that out, I guess.
Stalker.
So anyway, I was excited. So, but I got my knife, so we're gonna open it.
Yeah, just a sign that says April Fools, made out of paper.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a dummy putting my address up on there. That's right. I'll fix it. Yeah, just got I got into the moment and I forgot. So we've been talking back and forth and making jokes about the post office.
Now we'll both get IRS audits.
Hey, sweet. It's even personalized.
Yep. That's why I said when I started talking about trees, it's like, I'm not going to start talking about that because then.
That's neat. What do you call it? A window outlet? Window silhouette?
That one thing?
Yeah, you got Bigfoot.
I wasn't sure what's exactly put on it because I didn't think the Grassman Chronicles would fit on that. But when I went to try to get trees together, the Grassman Chronicles will fit on there, like with two characters to spare.
Yeah, it's got it's Captive Desk, Dave, Bigfoot, trees, and a tree. Are these clouds? And a bird.
Mountains. The mountains.
Yeah, the mountains. Okay.
Oh, so they got one with just clouds. Okay, I forgot what it looked like. Sorry.
Yeah, this over here is a cloud. And then the mountains, so the mountain tops are through here with the lines coming. That's sweet.
And his name's Bob.
Are these laser cut or something?
I imagine they are.
Because that's some pretty, that's some fine cuts.
For my house until after the first of the year, and it got there, Saturday before Christmas? Because then I sent it out either on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, that Christmas. Is neat. Thank you very much, Azho.
No problem. Ta-da. Of course, now you can't hang it on your green screen.
Hey, it actually shows up. How about that?
Yeah, I was surprised.
Huh. That's it.
What you do is you get a chain and make a necklace out of it. That could be your bling.
I'm a Flava Flav. Yeah, and it's coated too. What do you call it? Like powder coated?
Yeah, powder coat probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, they had one they had two other sizes, and the other one was like 3 foot wide. It's like, man, surely nobody would have enough room on their, to hang up something 3 foot wide in a house or wherever you would put it, or in the closet, or. I think that's what, a foot, either a foot or a foot and a half wide. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, I guess I could find out.
Dinner plate.
Yeah. I'm glad I got that size once I saw it firsthand. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Oh, come
not on. Not quite 2 hands. Maybe about.
Yeah, it's weather resistant powder coated finish.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have the size here. Oh wait, customize and do. I was just trying, yeah, I'll worry about that later. I was gonna look at the other two sizes, but it don't matter. But yeah, I got it. It just then I got thinking about getting one for trees. So I'll wait for him to answer my email if he wants, look at the trees on his or, the Grassman Chronicles.
Yeah, I've never seen cutouts like that before. That's really neat.
Yeah, they have a few different kinds, like some with like deer and stuff. I thought about getting for me because I'm into hunting and I like anything nature. And like for Christmas every year, my mom usually gets me something moose related because she used to call me Moose growing up. Well, between that and asshole, that's where the asshole probably came from. But my mama accused me.
Everybody should know somebody with the nickname Moose, right?
Right. Or Tiny.
Yeah, that's really neat. I appreciate it.
No problem. I figured you'd like it.
Yeah, I do. All hail Bigfoot.
I have to get one for KA because you know how he gets jealous. Unless he left already. No, he kind of left. He's keeping an eye on me, I think.
He dropped the bird's the word, so.
Bird is the word.
Yeah, so I haven't seen trees. He might be working, so. But
well, if you see him, tell him to check his email. And then show him that, because I said if you like it, I'll get you one too.
Yeah, I talk with trees. We text each other all the time, so keep up on stuff.
Although I hope I hope he opens up his email because it has my name or whatever my email is on that one. I can't remember how it's set up. But in like the subject, I put piss up a rope because that's what he told me to do that day when I told him to F off. We were joking around. He said, well, if somebody can tell me to piss up a rope, screw it. I ain't opening it up.
Yeah, I'll let him know. But yeah, so that was, so Azho was like, hey, yeah, I got some Bigfoot related or something like that. And I was like, hey, that's cool. I always appreciate it. And I always appreciate the Bigfoot humor and the other folks that are in with the All Hail Bigfoot and everything. And it also helps everybody remember how to get a hold of me because it's my email. So
right.
Somebody's just the other day was back and forth. Somebody said All Hail Bigfoot, and then somebody said something. I said, well, if you want to get a hold of me, you just All Hail Bigfoot at Gmail, so.
Well, we're talking about how long it took for that to get there. Now that I think of it, I ordered, and this is even before your sign, I ordered probably a week or two before that. Because I was trying to decide, what I was going to get put on it, which one. But it's like a little 8x10 metal little sign. And I think it's basically like Bigfoot anatomy. What a Bigfoot looks like if, cut up, or not even cut up, but like the skeleton and all this stuff. And I thought it was going to be mailed from the USA. Well, I got something like a week ago that said, hey, your package is held up in customs. And it's like, what? It says, yeah, so I got to reading it. It's like, it's held up and I didn't even realize it's coming from China, of all places. Well, it's over there, for the last, it's been, 6 weeks now, just sitting there waiting. And then they want me to contact them for additional information. It's like, if you got my address, my name and all that stuff, what more could they possibly want? And I was going to contact them. I said, screw it, because it was just to save $2, because all the other ones were like $7. So I may just go ahead and buy another one that I know is here in the States, because I just like the way it looked. But yeah, it's sitting in some China, customs, waiting for more information. Dog, get out of there.
I was going to say, I think I've gotten stuff from China faster than from Indianapolis.
Yeah. Let me see because I just looked at it. It don't matter.
Well, I think the shirt I got, I think it comes out of Florida. So, and I only ordered that about a week ago. So, They
Yeah, I
they
ordered.
they didn't they didn't get stuck in Indianapolis. So.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is I've got bowling balls. I bowl a lot, and I have my own little shop out in the shed where I could work on surfaces, cleaning them, all sorts of things. I got a spinner, but anyway, I ordered a bowling ball from I think it's Bowler Mart, who's out of Florida, and I get those relatively quick. I ordered two bowling balls up from in Michigan somewhere, and it took like a month. I mean, I would have thrown a fit if they weren't such a deal on the two balls that I got. They were discontinued, and for the price, I couldn't say no. But it took forever to get them. So I think it might be something between Indiana and Michigan that they don't like each other. Maybe.
Somebody lose a game, a sporting event or
Right.
something.
Probably Indiana kicked Michigan's ass in basketball because we know we ain't going to kick their asses in football. But
Uh,
congratulations.
I was joking because when it left in Indianapolis and it went to the Detroit post office, and I've had stuff before that departs and arrives and departs and back and forth and with Detroit. And I think one of the times it might have been one of my son's meds or something that was riding around.
Oh,
And
wow.
So I always cringe when it goes to the Detroit post office. But this time they were on it. So it was Indianapolis that messed up.
Right. Well, and you know how Michigan doesn't like Ohio State anyway, so and it doesn't matter what sport, they hate each other.
Most of the time, though, I have to give credit to all the different shippers and everything. Most of the time, it's pretty amazing, the logistics involved getting stuff from here to there. And, there it is on your porch, sometimes overnight, especially if you pay a couple extra bucks, overnight, it's pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, that's right. I've got stuff from California overnight or 2 or 3 day shipping that got here quicker, than obviously, and I think it's just the U.S. Postal Service, to be honest. But I'll never use them again. I'll pay the extra if I have to. But and even mailing that wasn't that cheap. When they told me what it was, not that it was outrageous, but it's like $8 or $7, whatever it was, just for that. Like, okay.
I think that's what the shipping is on for like the T-shirt. I think it's like $7-8, something
right.
Like that. So
well, it only cost me $6. Was it 6 or 8 from whoever the company is to my house? And then, which is had to be further away than Toledo, Ohio.
Well, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure this one comes out of Florida, so because it has to go through a couple of places to get here, but
right.
Yeah, though, hey, we're not, again, a lot of credit due for all the shippers and everything. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of those people work real hard doing all that stuff. We're just poking a little fun.
Especially during the holidays.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And important things, I will say, usually, if he gets his insulin or something, it's pronto. When they see it's medical stuff, I think it all goes priority and everything. So not complaining. Mostly I don't have problems with stuff, and most of the companies pack stuff really well. There's been a few exceptions where they just threw something in a box, but most of the stuff I'm impressed. A lot of the companies take the time, put the extra packaging and everything, and that's great.
Yeah, before I went on disability, part of like every 2 weeks I'd have to work in expedites, and that was where our money was. And I mean, anywhere in the States, Canada, South America, Europe, all over the world. That was their bread and butter. I worked for Pearson Education. I think at that time they were the largest book distributors in the world. But some of the stuff, and as quick as this stuff would get to, like Germany, literally 2-day air. It's like, how do you get there in 2 days? Of course, it's like whether it's UPS or FedEx, especially, they always picked up, like the last shipment of the day. Like I think FedEx was like 6 o'clock and UPS was like at 7 or 8. It's been a while, sort of things. And they would still get their 2-day air, whether it was
Mhm.
Germany or, but of course they're paying big bucks. And I'm talking about like for just a normal size book, 56, dollars, $75, and if they get insurance for the book, depending on what kind of book it was, that's even more, but you pay what
One
you get for it. And, books were usually not as much as the shipping.
one of the places I worked for, we would get overnight parts. They were in LA, and if there was a cutoff, like 3 o'clock their time or whatever the pickup was, but yeah, if I figured out what I needed for a customer, I could call LA. It would be picked up, and the next morning I'd say, tomorrow I'll be back in the morning, and UPS would come. I think it's by 10 a.m.
Right.
and there would be the part, and I could have them, up and going the next day. So, 24 hours for a repair, for a repart from across the country. That's pretty good service.
Right. Your dad used to put in, well, he was a mechanic at the Speedway Volkswagen for years and bounced back and forth for 2 jobs. But the last one he had, he actually even went over to Belgium, but he would install multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment. And if something would go out, or even if a company says, hey, something broke, they'd go in there, and it's a company I think it's called Panther. And all they do is have one order. They go from point A to point B, usually overnight. They'll have like 2 drivers because they're always, they're driving other than, stopping to get gas or, they slept in a van or, the big truck, depending on how big the parts were. But that would say he'd always get pissed off thinking, okay, I'll have a half a day off at least before this part gets there. He'd wake up the next day and sure enough, it'd be there. And he's like, damn it, I'm going to have to go to work today. But actually, the worst place he ever went to do that was down in Mexico. It wasn't too far from Cancun, which his dad couldn't understand. But the hotel he was staying at literally had 2 50 caliber machine guns on top of it. They had a lot of problems with people, like especially Americans, being kidnapped for ransom. And they would not let him out of the hotel. And they would actually have a caravan from the hotel to, and I can't remember what company it was, that they drove out to. So dad could, work and do that thing and pick him up at a certain time and bring him back. And he said, thank goodness they had a bar.
I worked in some sketchier neighborhoods in Detroit before, and the one guy told me, hey, you're going to such and such plant? And it's like, yeah. And he's like, don't come to a full stop at the stop signs or the red lights. Just roll everything, because as soon as you stop, they'll try to jack you. So
sounds like Allison's up in Indianapolis. Dad worked there a lot too.
I got to the lot, and the parking lot was all with high fence, barbed wire, security guards, just for the parking lot to keep the cars safe. So I'm like, hey, I'm in one of them neighborhoods that you want to keep moving. So hey, Tux, how you doing? Yeah, I had a few times in Detroit there, in some rougher neighborhoods.
Yeah, we're up in Chicago and got lost, driving around just, sightseeing. And there's some neighborhoods that, red light, I don't see it. I'm driving through and let a cop stop me. At least I know I might be safe for a minute or two, sort of thing. But
Chicago's where I got pulled over for no reason.
Well, now Chicago's got those
we came out of the hotel. Yeah. We came out of the hotel.
If it's red, takes a picture.
Yeah, we came out of the hotel, and I don't know I think we might have spent the night, and then we were heading back home in the morning or something. But we rolled out of the Holiday Inn or wherever we were staying, just a block or two down the road, and cops pulled me over. And it's like, what are you doing out here on a Sunday morning or whatever, And it's like, I say, well, we're working, and I got pulled over just because they wanted to know what an out-of-state vehicle was doing, driving around on Sunday morning.
That's against the law.
That's the only time I got pulled over for just no. I got a couple speeding tickets when I was a kid, being stupid. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like I was like, what are you pulling me over for? I didn't. I'm not doing anything wrong. And when I'm driving the company vehicle, obviously I'm not. I'm sober. I'm not driving like an idiot or anything. It's company vehicle. And but yeah, I got pulled over for no reason. So still trying to figure that one out. I don't know what I look suspicious or something. I don't know. It was a nice clean vehicle. It was a nice clean vehicle and everything. I don't know.
Yeah, I got stopped.
I was profiled.
Yeah. Like 2 years ago is the last time I've been stopped, and I've had a ticket in years, but the cop stopped me and I asked him, hey, well, why'd you stop me? He goes, well, you kind of pulled out of that shop kind of quickly. And I said, oh, which it was true. I just got brand new tires on my Malibu because I hated the tires that were on it because I could get no traction. And anytime there's any kind of, wetness on there. And it's like, I told the cop, honestly, this is what it was. He's like, well, have you been drinking? And it's like, no, why would I be drinking? I said, I can't drink and, be on chemo pill. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. I said, well, obviously we just met, and I was kind of being a smart ass, but, being nice to him. And he's like, well, were you at Champs? And it's like, what's Champs? He goes, it's a bar right there. I said, oh, next to the tattoo shop. He goes, yeah. I said, oh, I was just in there. My dad passed away like a couple months ago. I'm getting a tattoo, commemorate him. And, it was nice. But it was like, I was nervous. I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm over here telling him my whole life story without him asking. I stole a candy bar when I was 7 years old. And then, I took the neighbor's bicycle when I was 13, but I brought it back. I swear.
He's trying to get you. They're trying to get you to say something. Yeah, they're trying to get you to say something.
I don't have to think of lies.
Yeah, they want to catch you saying something.
Right. Yeah, he let me go, and he was nice about it. It was funny because I was meeting my soon-to-be ex sister-in-law at where did we go? Olive Gardens. And he followed me all the way out there. I pulled in and he kept going. So he may have just been going that way anyway, sort of thing. But I mean, he was nice, but he's like, I said, I got to ask you a question. I said, this may not be the best time. He's like, yeah. I said, I carry. He's like, oh, okay. I said, I said, I've read that you don't have to tell a cop, but I'm just going to check with you. But for me, I'm going to tell you anyway for your safety and mine. He goes, yeah, Indiana law, you don't have to tell somebody, tell a police officer you're carrying unless he asks. And I said, okay. He goes, yeah, but I appreciate you telling me that. And he's like, well, where is it? And I said, what's in the glove box? He's like, why aren't you wearing it? I said, because I was in the tattoo shop. He's like, oh, yeah. So I was like, I said, and the reason I even told him that, because that's where the registration is. It's like, I don't want to open up the, glove box. The gun falls out, him shoot me or tase me. That doesn't make a good, for a good night.
Yeah, you don't need him to see a gun and freak out.
Yeah, or shoot you.
Yeah.
No, my mom's out for the dog.
I'm not a fan of how the cops handle a lot of these situations. So
right. There are some that do handle it rather well, like this cop did. He was friendly and nice, and he was laughing because he's, like, why are you so nervous? I said, I even volunteered. I said, I'll come out right now and do the field sobriety test. I said, or we can just skip to me blowing into that stupid little thing. But
that's the thing, I'm not drinking, and my brother used to joke that you drive like an old man, It's like, no, I'm just driving like you're supposed to.
Yeah, and it saves on speeding tickets.
Yeah, I'm not tailgating, and I'm not racing around or anything. Yeah, I'm just driving to where I'm going, I'm just driving where I'm going. That's all, But so yeah, I mean, if I hear sirens or lights or something, I just pull over. I think they're blowing by me, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
And the couple times I was driving around, because I had a Chevelle, one of my first cars, had a 400 in it, and I used to drive all crazy with that car. And it's easy. You step on the gas, and you're right up over the speed limit like nothing. And up there, and immediately I look down when I see the gumballs, and it's like, oh man, I'm up over I knew what it was. They got me for speeding. But when you get pulled over and it's like, nah, you ain't doing nothing wrong. It's like, it's kind of uneasy.
Right. Well, I had a
So
66 Chevy too. I always got stopped, and that's not even necessarily for speeding. I had air shocks, and they were always getting that tape measure out and said, "Oh, you're about 6," which I knew I was. Past the, I didn't care because every single time, the only thing I had to do is let some air out. I went really, really slow because it's that,
mine too.
almost, and
Yeah,
if
my
even
Chevelle had them too.
disappeared, I'd crank them back up.
We'd crank them all the way up. The rear end to be all up in the air. You'd be going down the street, bouncing around and stuff.
The worst ride in the world, but you look cool.
We thought we looked cool. I don't know why. It was just going downhill.
Oh yeah, it was either that or my open headers because I had a lever where I could shut them, but I always ran open headers.
Or having rims. Why. Yeah, if you had rims on, they would watch you. And,
oh yeah.
But I mean, you knew. One. Yeah, you knew. You were speeding or driving like an idiot, or you were peeling out, or whatever it was. I never. I didn't know why they were pulling me over, except in Chicago. You Chicago meanie, you.
Right. Yeah, back that days, when I had my 66, I couldn't hardly afford to start it. Never let us drive around speeding. I mean, I had a 6-pack on it at one time, and then I had a blower, and then I took the blower off and went back to semi-stock, and then I was okay. But everything else, it was just, or if I break something, I was afraid of breaking anything.
My first car was a rusted-out 72 Charger. Something happened. My dad needed a car, and somebody at work said, "Hey, I'll sell you this for like a couple $100, And he drove it for a little while till he got another vehicle. And then it was about that time, and so I kind of got the car, And hey, I got a car, I was king of the road,
Yep.
But the choke and everything didn't work and everything. Yeah, we had to pop the air cleaner, put a screwdriver in there, and crank and crank and crank and crank and crank, get it started and everything. But once it got running, though, we had our freedom. I drove that car places I probably shouldn't have gone.
I paid $300 for my 66 Chevy too as a rust bucket. Me and my dad worked on it a lot, and God, I wish I had that thing back, especially for what they're going for now. I've been kind of like looking at them to see if I want to try to get another one, either that or another Volkswagen. My first car was an RX-2 Mazda. Then I went to 69 Super B Volkswagen, and it was a piece of metal rust, but I loved it. I want another one, especially because that's what my dad really was into. And he redid a Volkswagen, got it painted, just got it detailed, on the outside. Mom went to Chicago. I stayed home. She took my brother and my sister. Dad had to work. I had just learned how to drive I could drive a stick on a tractor, but it's a lot different than, a manual on a car. But I had just learned how to do that, took it out, raced a buddy who had a Firebird, ended up rolling this thing 3 or 4 times, and me even being alive is a miracle. And if I would have had my seatbelt on, I would have been dead because the passenger or the driver's side roof caved in right where I was sitting. So I got lucky. Ended up in the back seat, had a sore arm, but now it's kind of like, God, I want to get another one painted. And it ugly, not ugly color, but it was like Saturn yellow, where I swear it glowed in the dark. But I want to go get another one and kind of try to get it fixed up in memory of him, sort of thing. And I've been looking at them, and they're not as badly priced as I thought they'd be, but that's going to be my next purchase, I think, because my Malibu is my truck. Literally, I feel it is. I call everything in it. It's got dog hair everywhere, and everybody makes fun of me, but
yeah, I had
it 2018, brand new.
I bought myself a new used truck, and new to me. And I had a little mini Dakota before, and this is a full size Silverado. So I'm back up.
You're moving up.
I moved up to the big full size again. So it's like, wow, it's like this was, memories of driving the full size vehicles, You got elbow room and everything, and big armrest and everything.
Yeah. Dad's got it, or Dad, he's gone. I mean, he passed away, but we still got his, Chevy Silverado, and I love driving that thing because it is so big, especially, I'm used to a Malibu, which isn't a small car, but it's not, the king cab with all this cool stuff in it. It's even got a lockbox for gun, if you carry, sort of thing. But it's definitely different than driving my little car, especially trying to park.
I got hooked on having the truck because I run to Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever I'm running to and getting my stuff and everything. And I love having the truck, but the little truck just can't carry a lot of weight. So, you throw a bunch of stuff in the back and you're doing a wheelie all the way up, on the way home, right? Trying to turn the wheel, keep the front tires on the ground,
Little truck unless it's just to scoot around, because we've got a full-size car carrier that we use a bunch. Matter of fact, we have to go back and get, we just dropped off 2 mowers. So we have to go use it to go get the mowers because they finally got those fixed.
Yeah, I want some I can load up and do it in one trip, And this thing, it's in good shape. The bed's got the sprayed rubber and it's in good shape and everything. So I'm looking forward to spring and running to the stores and using my full-size truck to bring stuff back.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and buy anything because it's all so expensive as far as wood. It's ridiculous.
It came back down though. It was really bad for a while there.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying it or building a shed, and when I went in there, just the price of the plywood, just even 1/2-inch plywood, I'm thinking, I want to, buy the wood, not, pay the mortgage on, Home Depot. We got Home Depot in our little town. But
I know it was up to what, $70 a sheet or something like that.
Something ridiculous.
No, I think it's pretty much back down to normal again.
Yeah, I have to go look then because I need some 2x4s and 2x6s, but it's like even those were pretty expensive, like $20 for a 2x4. It's like, you're crazy. I'll just take them out of the house. No one's going to notice.
That's when I took the kids' swing set, both of my boys went through the same swing set. And then I was like, okay, well, they're not using the swing set anymore. So I was like, I'm going to take the swing set down. I want to put a picnic table in, put a picnic, use that spot and have a picnic table. And then I thought, well, man, I'm going to throw away all this wood and then go buy a bunch of wood to make a picnic table. So my picnic table is the old swing set. So we recycled it. We sliced it up and diced it up. So I've got one because it was the swing set had 4x4 legs on it, So my picnic table has 4x4 legs on it, and it's got memories, because it used to be the swing set.
Oh yeah,
I even reused the really large, the really large bolts that went through the top header.
Yeah,
I reused those to go through the 4x4. So there's actually a couple bolts that got the little hook hanging off of them underneath the picnic table there.
Yeah, see, I need like 6 2x4s, which they come in like 8-foot sections, because I've got these benches outside, and they were metal, old, on either end, and then there's one in the middle. But it takes like 8 or 10 pieces of 2x4, and I think they're pretty much as long as you want them to be, just how sturdy it is. But it's just like, gosh, I'm not going to spend $20 for a 2x4 times 6 when I just wait eventually. If not, I'll go chop a tree down and mill them by hand if I got to. It'd be cheaper and quicker.
Well, I was gonna do something, and it was when we did the bathroom maybe or something. I was like, there's just no way we're gonna have to wait on the prices because the wood was just crazy. But
I may go to Home Depot tomorrow and see, because I got to go get some floodlights anyway, because we had some burn out for the backyard, and that's where we let the dogs out, and they can't hardly see, and the pup is scared to death of it at night.
I went LEDs, and they are really nice and bright, and they use a lot less power and everything. So I love the LED stuff, and it's
a 2x4 is 2x4, Sydney, in any country. No, I don't know metric, to be honest. I'm not sure what a 2x4 would be in metrics.
But it's not actually a 2x4.
Millimeter wrenches.
It's a 3.5 by a 1.5.
Right, but he's talking about metric, because he said, not only do Americans use Imperial, it's not even that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I know most of the metric stuff, but as far as that, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much, yeah, it's 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, 2x12. So
4x4, 4x8.
I'll have to. I imagine it's probably on the tag. I'll have to pay attention.
Right.
That's something I mean, a lot of the other
I know
stuff.
a 13 millimeter is a 1/2 inch wrench. If that helps. 15
pretty
millimeters,
close.
5/8.
Yeah.
14's 9/16.
3/4 is a 19, close to a 19 millimeter.
Oh, 3/4. No, I think
those are lug nuts. Yeah, 19 millimeter.
3/8. That would have been the 12. That's going the other way.
19 and 3/4 and what 15/16 or whatever it is 21 millimeter or 13 whatever the other one is.
Go off the garage and grab whatever I need, and hopefully one of them will fit by the time I walk out there to put it on my car. Which really on my Malibu, I hardly ever work on it. First thing that's never broke down, and I don't do computer systems unless I got to. I do the brakes, stuff like that, but I ain't messing with the engine. I don't have the computer to hook up to it. Or I guess I could go to, AutoZone. I'll have brain fart tonight.
Well, you can buy, for just reading basic codes and everything, you can buy a little handheld one pretty cheap. So
right. But at least here you go to AutoZone, they'll read it for you and give you a printout of what the codes are for nothing. Yeah. And a lot of times, if they can fix it there, they do it for free too.
Yeah, there's some things I won't touch anymore. But
right. See, I don't do transmissions. I never have and never will.
Yeah, none of that big stuff. There's no way.
I can do anything on the engine, like on my 66. The only thing I would not do is, and it may sound weird, is I don't mess with exhaust systems. Because for some reason, I always get a hole in it, especially if I'm, trying to weld on it. Yeah, me and thin metals don't do well together.
Well, with the newer cars, everything all hangs on hooks. So it's all, you can buy it all prefabbed and you just hang it and away you go.
Right.
Yeah, they don't, when you're fabricating it at a muffler shop or something, yeah, that's something else.
Oh yeah, that's totally. But yeah, if you get the pre-made ones, I hate putting them together, and even if I just have to use C clamps, for some reason I suck at it, and they always come apart. Just my luck, kind of like my marriages.
First of all, you need
they fall apart too.
You need to get the heavy duty ones, because those cheesy ones don't work. And I use an impact on it, so.
Well. When you're like 16 and you're putting thrush on your 66 Chevy 2, whatever you got, it's going to work. We didn't have impacts at the house at that time.
That's what I was saying.
Dad had a garage, and
Yeah, back in the day, we were pulling engines out of cars and swapping them, and we were doing all that stuff. And
try sinking a 6-pack on an engine. That's not fun either.
No, that's way beyond anything I want to get into anymore. Yeah, like I said, I do all the brakes and everything and tune up and anything like that. But big stuff, it's just no way. You got to have the equipment.
And sometimes anymore than the knowledge.
Yeah, and trying to get the room, because especially with anything with front wheel drive, you're better off just dropping the whole subframe.
Yeah. And
that's hard to do in your driveway. So, yeah, no.
And I don't like CV joints either. I think
I worked on enough for so no. Most of the time, I've done some brake jobs for some neighbors and stuff like that. But yeah, the one guy said, "Hey, you want to put a tranny in my truck?" It's like, nope.
Hell no. Hard pass at that.
Yeah, you're talking
with
20.
A C-clamp, you get an Allen wrench generally, and you're ready to swap shit out.
Maybe 20 plus years ago, but no, not today. No way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to do it. I mean,
you gotta realize most of them are in sideways anyway. I don't do sideways engines. That's not fun at
Yeah.
all.
Again, yeah, something like that. You're just dropping the subframe. You're just doing the whole thing right there. There's advantages and disadvantages, but one of them is that I ain't doing it.
Right. Well, when I went back to school, I was working at Jiffy Lube, and there were some like oil filters that were you couldn't get to. You had to, pull shit, do shit, and I'd finally talked the manager into talking to the regional and said, "Hey, if these cars come in, either we pay or which I got paid regardless, but I was trying to get out of it because they suck so bad." But I said either they're going to have to charge more because they're always on our ass for times, customer, the turnover. I said either you're going to have to charge customers more for this, or we need to quit doing them. So there for a minute, he left it up to us. But then, corporate came out with, this big thing saying, okay, for this, it's like $10 more, to get the filter out because you have to take out the cross member just to get up there behind, in the backside. But some of those, even in today's, you can't hardly even get the spark plugs out without pulling out half the engine.
And those places, a lot of times, they're coming in hot too. So
yeah, oh yeah,
some of those ones, yeah, they're near the exhaust and stuff, and you can't do it until it cools off a little bit. So yeah,
especially when they come in 3 quarts low, then they wonder, whoa, it's running hot. Well, no shit, there's no oil.
Engineers, you gotta love them. Yeah, you gotta love them.
I know. Yeah, it was funny because like in the early 90s, mid 90s, I worked at the Fleetwood travel trailers, and we'd always run into shit that the engineers would say, yeah, that fits perfect there. You got plenty of room. Put it into practice and no. So we had engineers come in all the time and I'd cuss them out. Literally. I said, I don't know what the hell you guys are thinking. Oh, it's easy. What's it? I throw in my tool belt. I said, have at it. Show me how to do it, then I'll do it. 20 minutes later, they're looking at me, pretty much saying, God, we're idiots. I said, no argument here.
Well, like, one of the ones is like the putting the fuel pump in the gas tank. Okay. And I understand why they do it. Okay. But in the American cars, you have to drop the gas tank. Right. And sometimes the exhaust system to get the gas tank out, everything else to change the fuel pump. Rear. Yeah, you pop like a Honda or something like that. You know what they have? They have an access panel.
Yeah, on top.
On top, yeah, it's either in the trunk or under the back seat, wherever it is. And they also there was one up in the front too for something one time. They put in an access panel. Imagine that. And then
they've actually done more and more, like where you put your spare in the back trunk. You take that out, you take out that spinny part, and right there it is generally.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you put access, for something like that, No. And some of these nights, there's a couple of mechanics that have videos that they're showing some of these things where you have to tear half the front end of the car apart to get the job done. And then the book is only paying a couple hours.
God, memories. I'm going to have nightmares now reliving some of this shit.
All right. Well, hey, we've been talking for a little while here, so I'm going to let you go, Azho.
Okay. Appreciate it.
And appreciate everybody that stopped by the chat to share the unboxing. And I want to thank Azho again. It's really neat that you sent it to me. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem.
And all hail Bigfoot.
All hail Bigfoot, the one true God.
And
matter of fact, I may send you another one of those so that you can make earrings out of them. You got hoops. That'd have to be two.
I was just talking the other day. I was like,
flavor.
I was like, I wonder if I could even get anything in my ears anymore. It's been so long.
I used to have 8 earrings, and it's been quite a few years.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't want to get started on that topic because that's another whole story with my mom.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't miss all that anymore. Either. I got enough just to trim this here, to keep it so the crazy hairs and everything and stuff. And it's like, and doing it, and it's like I don't want to deal with all that again. That's just too much. I don't wear hardly any jewelry. I have my rings I don't have to take on or off unless I'm doing something.
I got a necklace. All I got.
Yeah, I used to have necklaces and everything, and I don't know. A lot of the jewelry thing, I'm just.
What's what's sad is I bought a few rings here and I don't ever wear them, and like 2 or 3 of them were like the Satanic Temple type of things. I mean, they're not really gaudy or anything, just kind of casual, but I like them, but I just don't wear them because I don't go anywhere.
And they were always a hazard, doing stuff that, it was catching on my earring. It was catching my necklace. It's, and I got to take off, at least I try to, I take my rings off because, you go stick your hands in something, you're going to come back out without your ring,
Right.
So,
or if you have a glove on, take it off. You lose it, you think?
Yeah. I'm very mindful every time I put the gloves on. When I take it off, it's like I check, make sure your ring is there, especially if it's like a disposable glove you're throwing in the garbage,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah, because you'd be searching the garbage.
It's when I had my real long hair that my hair would always get caught in my necklaces. Never failed.
But, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get out of here before we get started on something else because you've got stuff to do, I'm sure, and I don't. But I got to go check on the puppies.
Yeah, I go check on mine, too. Nice talking. Hey, nice talking with you, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.